Alrighty, today's video is going to be all about writing a persuasive paper. Something that, everybody has to do, but isn't quite as painful as it sounds. So why should you care about this? Well, first of all, knowing how to write a persuasive paper is necessary for middle school, high school, and college. It's, like I said, something that's going to start in middle school and just continue probably all the way through college, even grad school if you decide to go that far. And also, when you hear persuasive papers, another way people are kind of saying it now is writing a paper with an argument. So we're going to use those words interchangeably for this lesson. Also, knowing how to form an argument and back it up with evidence is an important skill to know in life. So if you're ever trying to convince an audience of something or convince anyone of something, you have to be able to state your opinion and back it up. And that's what we're going to be learning how to do today. So it's not just important for your grades and writing papers and stuff, it's just a great life skill to have. Yes, because we all know that this doesn't work, right? Like you can't just be like, I am always right. And just in case I am wrong, see rule number 1. It's supposed to be a joke. But I do know people like this, and it doesn't work. It just doesn't work. You have to try to back up what you're saying with evidence. That's what today's all about. So, really quick, let's talk about what a main idea is and an argument is. You probably have heard of a main idea before from previous English classes, and we are talking about argument, which is very, very similar. When you are writing, you should include a thesis. This is one sentence that serves as the most important central idea of your paper. When you are writing or reading expository text, this is called a main idea. When you are writing or reading persuasive text, this is called an argument. So just about everything you're going to read or write that's an expository or persuasive text is going to have a thesis. And we call those by different names. It's main idea if it's just a fact. It's an argument if it can be disagreed with. It's kind of the same concept of everything being united around a central topic. And what you call it is different based on the kind of text you're writing and its purpose, right? So a main idea is a fact. Argument is stating an opinion that you can disagree with. Like I said, arguments can be disputed. Main ideas are facts. Main ideas and arguments are both backed up with supporting details. In persuasive text, the supporting details are called evidence because this is the evidence you are presenting to back up your argument. In other words, the evidence supports your argument. Okay, I know it's all kind of confusing. It's going to make more sense in a second. So how do you organize a persuasive paper? Well, you organize a persuasive paper the same way you organize any essay or constructive response. And like we were saying before, it's say it, prove it, quote it. But this time we're going to take those 3 things and stretch it out into a 5-paragraph essay, going from say it, prove it, quote it to introduction, body paragraphs, and a conclusion, which is all basically the same thing, just longer. So we're going to say it, prove it, quote it using the standard 5-paragraph essay format for writing this paper. So what we have here, guys, is taking that 5-paragraph essay structure and looking at it through the lens of an argument paper. So the persuasive paper begins with the argument. You should also preview your evidence. So here we have argument and preview on the top. That's going to be our introduction paragraph. Each paragraph afterward includes evidence that backs up the argument. Do not repeat yourself. Try to stick to one big point in each paragraph, explaining that point in detail. So here we have evidence to support in 3 body paragraphs following the introduction. So this is 1 paragraph, 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs, 4 paragraphs. So you'll hear people say introduction, 3 body paragraphs, and a conclusion. In the conclusion paragraph, you restate the argument and provide closing thoughts. Sometimes this is a call to action, which means what do you want the reader to do now that they believe you and are totally in agreement with your argument, which is the goal. Okay, so before we look at an example paper, let's talk about the different types of evidence. And remember, types of evidence are going to be found in your body paragraphs and they back up your argument, okay? So there are many types of evidence. Here are a few to get started. Facts are statements that can be proven. It's something you could look up. Not always Wikipedia is the best example, but it's the first one that pops into your head, right? Is I can find proof that this is real. Female gamers are frequently targeted for online harassment. That is a fact. We know that's true. Statistics, facts with percentages, especially relating to people. So this is a statistic is also a fact, but it's a special kind of fact with great percentages in it. Like in a recent study, 52.7% of gay gamers perceived the gaming community as somewhat hostile, while 14% perceived it as very hostile. Quotes from experts are using the words of someone in the field. In case you haven't figured out, these two examples here are both about people who experience discrimination or bullying in online gaming. So for this one, you could quote someone who maybe studies culture in video games or culture in online communities, or you could quote a game developer. Personal anecdotes, share your own story. So if you've been bullied online while you were gaming for your sexual orientation or your gender, this would be something you could put in as evidence for your own argument. Don't do it too much. You want to rely mostly on facts, but sometimes your own story can really add to it. All right, so we're not going to write this down yet. Now we're going to go ahead and look at an example paper. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for just a second so we can pull everything up. Okay, so here we are in Microsoft Word, and I'm going to go ahead and show you an example paper, and I'm going to make it about discrimination and harassment in online gaming, because as many of you know, I am a gamer, and this is something I've been passionate about for a long time, and I know something that a lot of you guys are gamers too, so hopefully this will be something you're interested in. Now, thinking back to what I just learned in the video, I know that my first paragraph is my introduction, and in my introduction I need to state my argument and also preview a little bit of what I'm going to be saying in the paper. Try to get my reader interested and excited in what I'm going to say, maybe let them know what we're going to be talking about, things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and start with just a little bit of a hook and kind of try to draw from my own experience a little bit about what it really means to be a gamer. So give me just a second. Remember, a good paragraph is going to be 4 to 5 sentences, maybe longer. Absolute minimum, though. Absolute minimum is 4 sentences. Some teachers will tell you 5, but okay, so I went ahead and got an introduction out real quick. If you're thinking, man, she typed that up really fast, yeah, that's kind of, just from practice, and you'll get there eventually. And I was kind of trying to think as I was writing a little bit, so I was trying to think about what I know I'm going to write in the paper and what I want you guys to be able to read and understand. So what we did here is I went ahead and just previewed the issue overall, and then down here I gave my actual argument about this is wrong and gamers everywhere should unite to stop this problem. So that right there is me saying what my opinion is. What is my argument? My argument is that we shouldn't be doing this, right? We need to end harassment and discrimination in online gaming, and everyone should unite to stop the problem. All right, I'm going to go ahead and pause again real quick, and with the magic of online pausing, we're going to put the whole essay together here, okay? So give me just a second. Alrighty, here's the whole essay in its entirety. We're going to go ahead and read each paragraph and then talk about each one really briefly, okay? We'll start with the introduction up here. Gaming should be an escape from reality. Let me zoom in for all my people so everybody can see it. Hopefully that's a little more clear. Get my face out of the way. There we go. Gaming should be an escape from reality. It should be a chance to unplug and enjoy a life that is separated from our typical existence. However, this isn't always the case for gamers who aren't considered the typical. Gamers who are female, don't identify as heterosexual, or are non-white frequently face discrimination and harassment online. This is wrong, and gamers everywhere should unite to stop this problem. So like I said, just trying to preview what's going to be coming and what I'm talking about and stating my argument. Now, these next 3 paragraphs are going to be our evidence, trying to keep one main point in each one of the paragraphs and really expanding on it with lots of details in each one. So in this one, what I did for this is I made each paragraph about a different type of discrimination, okay? So like this one's all about female gamers. This one's about people who are not heterosexual, so typically, you know, homosexual gamers. And this one is about gamers who are not white experiencing discrimination, all right? I'll go ahead and read through them really quickly. To begin, female gamers are particularly vulnerable to harassment. Male gamers see female gamers as fake and will use derogatory language toward them. For example, 65% of women report harassment and statistically receive 3 times as much derogatory or insulting remarks than men. In another example, Anita Sarkeesian, a feminist and gamer, frequently speaks out against sexism in the gaming community, but she has received death threats. She wants the gaming community to be welcoming to all types of people. So you're going to notice a mixture. I started with some facts, I have statistics, and I have a quote from an expert. So 3 different types of evidence in one paragraph. In addition to women, people who are not heterosexual frequently experience cyberbullying and harassment while playing games. Any online gamer has heard other players shout out gay and other slurs about homosexual individuals. In a recent study, 52.7% of gay gamers perceive the gaming community as somewhat hostile, while 14% perceived it as very hostile. These gamers should be able to enjoy their hobby without being attacked for their sexuality. So again, we have facts and statistics. No quote from an expert this time. Finally, online gamers have been known to make racist comments as well. One game developer, Sean Alexander Allen, said he has been the target of rude comments and racial slurs. He believes the gaming industry needs more people of color making video games. He thinks the negative depictions of non-white characters contributes to white players treating people of color negatively as well. So here we have facts, and then a lot of the paragraph is devoted to this expert, Sean Alexander Allen. And here we have the conclusion. In conclusion, gamers everywhere should unite against harassment of any type in the online gaming community. Women, people of color, and people who aren't heterosexual should be able to play the games they love. If you are a gamer, do what you can to stop this harassment when it occurs. If gamers everywhere take a stand, we can make the online gaming community a fun, welcoming place for everyone. So here, in my conclusion, I restate my argument, and I also give people a call to action. Like, what are we supposed to do with this? Well, as gamers, we're supposed to say that it's going to stop. So that's my whole essay, all put together. Hopefully you learned a little bit from it. Let's go ahead and wrap things up here. Let me resume our slideshow. All right, so we are right here at the note page. So obviously writing down some notes isn't going to teach you as much as actually looking at the example essay, but you know, this could help you too with some quick reminders. So give yourself some notes down right there. And if you've been asked to complete the skill check, here's the skill check. Go ahead and pause either of those slides, and as always, just reach out if you need any help.